Hey everybody, today on Northern Revolutions, I'm going to do a video on a topic started by Chris Propfe over at Musically Obsessed. He wants to see music finds at home. To find out what that means, stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to do a video talking about vinyl finds at home, which was a topic started by Chris Propfe over at Chris Propfe Musically Obsessed. Wonderful channel, great guy. I really wish Chris and I lived a little bit closer because I'm sure that there's a lot of things he and I would do together. He's a guitar player. Obviously, we're both record fanatics. So Chris is a great guy, and I hope everyone will check out his channel. I'll leave a link below. But I really wanted to get in on this topic that he started the other day. He was talking about sort of the thrill of when you're crate digging at a record store or a show and you come across something that you haven't heard for ages and you just have to have it. Well, he said he was looking through his collection in his house and he found some things that he already owned that he hadn't listened to in a long time or had forgot that he owned. And it was sort of that same sort of, aha, wow, look at this. And I can relate to that. And I knew that I had certainly some stuff that I probably hadn't listened to in forever. So I'm going to show those today. One quick thing before I get started. I apologize if I sound a little hoarse. As I mentioned in my Canada Day video that I uploaded today, I'm just getting over having pneumonia. So feeling much better, but my voice is still a little less pleasing than usual, if it's ever pleasing. At any rate, if I sound funny, that's why. So, I'm doing this slightly differently than Chris did. So his was called Vinyl Finds at Home. I don't have an enormous vinyl collection. I've got about 700 or 800 records, which sounds like a lot, but there's nothing in there that doesn't get played on a fairly regular basis. There's nothing that I look through there and go, oh, I haven't heard that in a while, or I forgot I had that. I mean, I'm in my record collection every single day. So there's not really anything in there that I would be like, whoa, I gotta spin that because I haven't heard it forever. But what I do have is a CD collection, which you can't see, but it's just over there in front of me. I think I probably have about 1,000 CDs. I don't buy CDs anymore. I very rarely listen to CDs. But very little of my CD collection is actually digitized. So there's a lot of stuff over here on my CD shelf that hasn't been listened to in a while, that I don't have on vinyl, that I don't have digitized. So I went through there and I found 5 albums, like Chris was asking for, that I went, oh man, I forgot I had that. Or, oh, I haven't listened to that in forever. I need to spin that. So I'm going to show you those today. So the first one that I'm going to show you, for those of you that watched my Canada Day video from this morning, which was on albums by Canadian artists to celebrate Canada Day, I did have a Bryan Adams album on there, Waking Up the Neighbors. Great album. I listen to it all the time. But when I was looking through my CD collection, I came across probably my first Bryan Adams record, album, that I haven't listened to in forever. And that's on the MTV Unplugged show. This came out in 1997. So um, I guess that would be about when I was getting into Bryan Adams. I remember this special. And shortly after this came out and his new song Back to You was, you know, being played all the time and becoming a hit for him, he was up at Much Music in Toronto. They used to do a show called Intimate and Interactive, which was kind of the same sort of, it wasn't acoustic, but it was, the artist would come into the Much Music environment and perform a show. And in between songs, the audience could ask questions and interact with the artist. And I remember he came and did that. So I really remember this. I remember this album coming out. It's a great unplugged. I just haven't listened to this in probably at least 10 years. I do have it digitally. It's on my iPod in my car, but I just haven't listened to it forever. So there's some great stuff on here. Acoustic versions of Summer of '69, Cuts Like a Knife, 18 Till I Die, Heaven, and some other greats. I mean, I'm Ready. I don't like that song. But an acoustic version of Let's Make a Night to Remember, The Only Thing That Looks Good on Me Is You. I'm a big Bryan Adams fan, so I liked this album and haven't heard it forever. So I think when I'm done this video and I sit down to edit, this is going to be the album that I put on. The next one I want to show, I think people in the US may have heard of this band. I know that my good buddy Brian down at Shamrock and Records, not that he's ever on YouTube much anymore, but if he does, he knows this. This is Great Big Sea. I talked about Alan Doyle a couple of videos ago. I think that was for Roberts on My Turntable contest entry. Alan Doyle is one of the frontmen and founders of Great Big Sea. They were a Newfoundland folk rock band from the 90s into the 2000s. And they really put that genre on the map. I think they had some success in the US. This is their album from 1997 called Play. I think, if I have their discography right in my head, I think this was their second album, but this was the one that made them successful. The two singles off of here, Ordinary Day and When I'm Up, I Can't Get Down, were huge radio and Much Music hits. And Alan still plays them at his shows today. Obviously, Great Big Sea disbanded probably 2010, I think, but Alan still tours with a new band. He's touring relentlessly, and he plays a lot of Great Big Sea stuff. This was a landmark album for me in the 90s. I absolutely loved this. This is when I was getting into music. I played this a lot. I haven't listened to this also in probably 10 years. So right after I finish Bryan Adams Unplugged, I'm going to put on Great Big Sea's Play. Great record. This is a band that I had forgotten about, to be quite honest. This is Wolfmother. This is their self-titled album from 2006. I think for me, Wolfmother is Zeppelin-esque, but in a good way, not in the way that Greta Van Fleet copies Led Zeppelin. I think they're garbage. These guys sort of pay homage to that genre, that style, but they do it in their own way. This is a great record. I remember the first time I heard the single Joker and the Thief, I was hooked. I actually need to find this on vinyl because I know it's available on vinyl. Great. If you like Zeppelin, you'll like Wolfmother. I'm going to show one that probably not a lot of people have heard of, which is okay. This is a band called the Sky Diggers. I've mentioned them before. That poster right there is a Sky Diggers poster from their Northern Shore tour. The Sky Diggers are a folk rock, roots rock band from Toronto. They are friends with Blue Rodeo. They're in that same sort of musical vein. Uh, this band is great. Had a ton of lineup changes over the last 30 years, but the two principal singer-songwriters, Josh Finlayson and Andy Mays, are the constants in that band. Um, I'm actually friends with the drummer Noel. He and I actually went to high school together, so I've known Noel since '92, I think. And he joined this band, I think, 2009. Um, I have the two Skydigger records on vinyl that are available, their self-titled one and their most recent record. But I think they've got about a dozen albums, and I've got most of them on CD and most of them on my MP3 player. Um, this was their 20-year retrospective. Maybe it's 20 years. Yeah, I guess 20-year retrospective came out in 2009. Yeah, it's called The Truth About Us, a 20-year retrospective. This is kind of their greatest hits package. I haven't listened to this probably since 2009. I've listened to a lot of Skydiggers records, so it's not like I haven't listened to them. I just haven't listened to their hits package. And I'm not a great, pun intended, I'm not a greatest hits fan, but this is one of those instances where I love all their individual albums. But it's nice just, once in a while to sit down and hear, you know, Penny Moore, I Will Give You Everything, Slow Burning Fire, Truth About Us, 80 Odd Hours, Dear Henry, all of them just back to back to back because these are so goddamn good. So this is definitely gonna get a few listens in the next couple days, just because I haven't put all the Diggers hits together in a long time. So this is like, I don't know, putting on a comfortable old pair of shoes or cuddling up with a nice blanket or, whatever the analogy is. I miss this. So looking forward to this. I wish it was on vinyl, and I'll mention it to Noel, but I don't know that he has much say in what they put out on vinyl. And lastly, I love this album. And I think I'm about the only person on the planet that does. It's the oft forgotten Fleetwood Mac album, Time. So this is the album that came out in '95. This is the one weird oddball album that had its own unique lineup of Fleetwood Mac. It was after Lindsay and Stevie left, yet before they returned for the dance, which was in '97. So this is the one with Billy Burnett, Dave Mason, and Becca Bramlett, along with Mick, John, and Christine. I don't think Fleetwood Mac likes this record. I think as a band they pretend it doesn't exist. It's never seen a vinyl issue. I really wish it would. I think it got really maligned by the critics, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was in between Lindsay and Stevie leaving and returning that people just think of it as a throwaway. But I tend to think of Fleetwood Mac as a music collective. They've had so many lineups, it's ever evolving. So why shouldn't this be a part of their musical tapestry? I love this, and it kind of has a spot in my heart for me. I got this. My dad was a big Fleetwood Mac fan, and he died very unexpectedly and quite tragically in 2009. And I remember within that first week or so, when I had to start cleaning out his stuff, I grabbed a bunch of CDs and albums because they were important to him. So they were very important to me, and Fleetwood Mac was his favorite. And this was the first Fleetwood Mac album that I picked at random and put on when I got home after the first day of cleaning out my dad's stuff. So for me, it just keeps me a little closer to dad. And, you know, at any rate, I wish this was on vinyl because I think this is a great record. I don't know why it's so maligned. There you go, Chris. There's five, not vinyl finds, but five music finds that I had forgot that I had and haven't listened to in forever. Thank you for this topic because it's going to make me listen to some stuff that I really love that I'd forgotten about. So, everybody, please check out Chris Propfe, Musically Obsessed. I'll leave a link in the description. That's everything for me today, everybody. Have a great day. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.